Portrait painting. Portrait painting has long since been a tradition to keep memories and family history preserved through generations, as well as being a reflection of the creative process and artistic endeavors of the artists themselves. In an age where we take a million instant digital images, it is often not as personal nor as lasting and as visible as a hand-painted portrait. Files are often lost, photos not looked at, and most importantly, the next generation has not been told the story. In addition to family portraits, there's also an important role that portraits play in representing professionals and people who made possible the schools, the hospitals, the foundation, the invention. It's important that we should pay tribute with a lasting work that inspires the next generation by reminding them that an individual had the power to positively impact a community or an era. Some of my historically significant portraits have been included in international exhibitions. One of the most meaningful for me was a portrait that I did of a woman from Senegal, which was featured in an exhibition for human rights at the Robert F. Kennedy Center. And my husband, Frank Recruit, sculpted a portrait of Harriet Tubman for a National Historic Site for the Underground Railroad in Canada that is now visited by over 4,000 people annually who get to hear the story. I've enjoyed painting portraits perhaps far more than any other subject because of the significance and emotional value they represent for my clients. Grandparents often commission painted portraits of their grandchildren. Children celebrate their parents' anniversaries with a portrait. People often enjoy commissioning even a portrait of their beloved pets. These paintings, often gifts, represent a meaningful family connection through generations and remind us of the most important people in our lives, and the stories they represent encourage sharing of one's history, and they strengthen family ties in a way that no other store-bought gift ever could. I've had a woman who was in the final stages of a terminal cancer commission a portrait of her daughter with her newborn, and the emotional response of their receiving the painting just a week before she passed away was one of the most intensely sad and joyful memories of my career. To have had a shared memory at such a difficult time, and one that will forever be a treasured memory, was truly an honor to have painted. Perhaps a little background about me. I'm Canadian by birth, but I live in Florence, Italy with my husband, who is a sculptor. We are fortunate to have a beautiful studio in the historic center of Florence. I've been in the arts my entire life, and I'm classically trained. And though this classical training involved painting from life exclusively on a daily basis for many, many years, I understand how very difficult this is for clients to arrange with today's responsibilities, schedules, and travel. And so I trust that my past and continued experience in drawing and painting from life allows for the flexibility to execute a beautiful portrait with the assistance of photo references to accommodate my clients' needs. And so although situations differ, my preferred process typically involves an initial consultation to discuss size, setting, clothes, pose, details such as perhaps the inclusion of a pet or a prop that is meaningful, and this may easily be done by phone and email. Ideally, an in-person get-to-know-each-other visit accompanies a photo session that I would do. This might take place at a client's home, their business, a location of their choice, or in my Florence, Italy studio. But if this is impossible due to distance, a Skype call will provide the opportunity to meet and to explain the process for the best photography. I'm able to explain the best approach to photographs or to speak directly with your local professional photographer to discuss my needs. The painting itself, I create in my Florence studio using quality oil pigments on panel in traditional method, and it will be shipped by our expert art shipper who professionally creates and sends art for us regularly all over the world at a very reasonable cost. I invite anyone who is interested to not hesitate to contact me just to discuss the process. Everyone should have an opportunity to experience real art in a way that here in Florence we take for granted, as simply being a part of our everyday lives. It should be a fun and interesting experience, and above all, art should not be intimidating. Art, especially portraiture, is a witness to our lives, and it is a future's reflection of our times.